Hello children, in this video we will be doing story writing or developing a story in English composition. So children, what is the need or purpose of learning story writing? So the purpose of writing a story is to develop the skills of storytelling and capture the reader's interest. It also enhances your imagination as a student. So, in order to write a story, what are the points that you need to remember? First is choose a plot or scenario. Think what the story is about, decide on the main action or plot of the story, consider what you are trying to convey through the story. So, when you start writing or when you are thinking of writing a story, that time you need to see and think about what the story is going to be about. Focus on the main character. So your story will be containing some characters. So you need to imagine about them and then start writing your story. Like stories home a main character and an opponent, like the hero and the villain, as we see in movies. So create the main character with goodness, values, and also interesting attributes and feelings. He should have a good sense of judgment and should be capable of taking right decision at the right context. The antagonist always highlights the paid protagonist's goodness in turn. That is, the villain who is there, he is always trying to fight with the hero of the story. So that is why you need to make proper characters in the story when you are thinking about writing a story. Create a central conflict for the main character. Every plot of a story revolves around a conflict. It is the most essential part of the plot of any story because it is conflict that marks the destroy of the main character and other characters in the story. So children, every story, it may be movies or when you read stories in books, you might have seen that there should be some main character, there should be something, a plot should be there where people get engaged while reading the story. So that should be there, which is revolving around the main hero and the villain. Pick an interesting setting. It means the place of action. Choose a suitable place of action in accordance with the conflict of the story and its character. So while thinking about writing a story, you need to have a proper plot, where you're going to base your story in. Which place is it? Is it a fighting one? Is it a horror one? Is it a fiction one? What kind of a story you're going to write? Choose a theme. So any fiction or story centers on a theme and explores it from the viewpoint of the main character. So as I told you earlier, you need to have a theme of what you are going to write. Plan a climax. A climax always emphasizes the ending and the message conveyed through the ending. Climax always determines the impact of the ending and success of the story. So while thinking of a story, you need to have a proper ending. You can also write the moral. What moral do we get from the story? Mark the ending with a twist or a surprise. End the story with a twist or a surprise, such as aspect will always make the story interesting. So while writing in the beginning, in the middle, and while writing the ending part of the story, it should have a twist. So the person who is reading your story should gain more interest and should be left in surprise. Now this is a sample of how or what kind of a story y'all will be getting. So develop a story with the help of the following ending. Give a suitable title. They all patted Meena on her back for her presence of mind. So children, for y'all, story writing or developing a story will be as the starting line, few lines of the story, or the ending few lines of the story will be given. You have to either continue the first line or end with the last line. So here we have a ending line, okay? That is, they all patted Meena on her back for her presence of mind. So children, even in this writing skill, you need to give a proper suitable title. And also this story should be around 80 to 100 words of about 2 to 3 paragraphs. Now let's read this story about the girl Meena, who was patted. Okay, so the title that is given is A Brave Girl. Meena was a 12-year-old girl who used to stay with her mother. Her father had gone to another city to earn money. One day, a stranger came to Meena's house. Her mother was not in the house at that moment. The man caught hold of Meena. She began to cry loudly, but no one was around to come to rescue her. Suddenly, Meena was reminded of her mother's advice. She built up her confidence and looked around for something to hit the stranger. Suddenly, she thought of an idea and hit the stranger hard on his arm. The stranger cried with pain and let go of her. This moment was important for her. She took her mother's sari and tied it around the stranger's neck. She tied him and then called the police as well as her neighbors. The police reached within no time and arrested the man. The neighbors had also arrived. They all patted Meena on her back for her presence of mind. So children, in this way, you need to use the ending, or if you are given the starting line, to make or narrate your story. And your story should have proper characters. Your plot should be proper. You need to think of a good theme as well. So this is the way how you write story writing. Thank you for listening. Take care.